Here we are in the Flooded app, asking the same question that we asked in the earlier video. What are the most popular products or content? So how do you know that for an app? What would you want to know here about the product, which is the app, the content? What do we need to know that's most popular about the app? I think a good place to start is looking at our reports. What is it that we really need to know? Well, let's think about it for a minute. An app is about engagement. It's about time in the app. It's about returning to the app. So we have a couple of things. We have some games reporting where we're looking at engagement here. We also have life cycle engagement. So those are two different areas that we want to look at. Let's start by expanding our engagement to understand what it is we're trying to ask here. So we know we have the app and the game. Let's see how people are engaging with our overall game content. So what we have here is some really interesting top-level data. Now again, we're looking at the last 28 days. So let's take a look at a different amount of time. It's helpful to kind of take a look at a longer period of time so you can see some trend data. As you've seen over the past couple of videos, really looking at that bigger, longer picture is helpful for trend data. Let's do that last 12 months. Do like to do that comparison, which is always helpful. And we're going to click apply. Now we have a little bit bigger scope of the data. So our tables here and our dashboard is showing us a couple of things about engagement, showing us the level of users over the last 12 months compared to the preceding 12 months. And again, we can see that, the preceding 12 months, we didn't kick off until beginning of July. We have our new users over time as well. So we can click on that and we can see that new user data versus the user data, right? So what does this tell us at a high level snapshot? We really want to know how many people are staying with the game and how long. And what we know is we have a good number of new users in this time, and that contributes to our overall user count. Now we can look at what happens to user activity over time. You can see that it does grow, which is really nice to see. And then we can start to see the types of audiences that we have that have been identified in this particular space. And there are different naming conventions for each one. And we can certainly look at, okay, by audience. But maybe we want to look at just new users. So what's happening with new users? A little bit different information. The type of 7-day unnotified users. We can see that if we look at our total user base, we're getting to see the amount of people who are all about level beaters is the title that they gave for the users. And we can look at different audiences if we want to dig deeper into, say, looking at users by audience. And then we can find out more information about each one. And again, we've got that comparison data. You can look and see how much you can really dive in to see a little bit more about each audience user. Because again, what we're trying to understand is what's the most popular. And we can see that all users in general are trending pretty well versus new users and just general users, right? That's our engagement in the game. Let's take a look at our overall life cycle engagement. And we can see an overview of that. So that's going to give us that bigger, broader overview. And now we can see things like average engagement time, engaged sessions per user. So really want to look at what's the difference between these two. One is showing us types of users and how much time they spend. This overview of engagement in the life cycle is really looking at time engaged. So the question is, what's more useful for us as we're looking at an app? How much time they spend in each session, or how much time over time they spend playing the game. Both of these are important. And we can look deeper into events, conversions, and pages and screens. I'm going to leave that up to you to look in deeper if this is your project. But it is nice to see some of the things that are happening and the different events that are named. And we can see this user data over time, which is also helpful. And we can start to see in our overview section a little bit more user activity and page title and screen class and where are they spending their time in the game. So this gives you a little bit more information on how you would dig into that question about what's the most popular products or content in the app. Advice also is you might want to look and see over time how people are engaged in general and how long people stay engaged.